Across time and space, stories have echoed through the myths of ancient cultures, strange, haunting tales of beings from the stars who once walked among us. But within these alien legends lies an even more startling possibility: that humanity itself was once something more, something older, something powerful. In this first part of our story, we examine the mysterious whispers found in alien myths that suggest ancient humans may not be the primitive, evolving species we've been taught to believe in, but perhaps the original architects of forgotten civilizations, maybe even of other worlds. From the Sumerians to the Dogon tribe of Mali, from the Mayans to the Hopi, myths across the globe speak of sky gods, or star visitors, who descended from the heavens. These stories have traditionally been interpreted as early encounters with extraterrestrial life. But what if the narrative has been misread? In some texts and oral traditions, these sky beings are not depicted as superior gods, but as emissaries, servants or messengers, answering to an even older race, a human-like race of ancient beings who once ruled in the time before time. Consider the Sumerian Anunnaki, often described as powerful entities who engineered mankind. However, deeper analysis of the tablets reveals an ambiguous hierarchy, one that suggests the Anunnaki themselves feared or revered another group. The ancient ones, or those who came before. Could these figures have been an ancient form of humanity? Some theorists believe so, arguing that these texts point to a forgotten epoch where humans were not only advanced but interstellar. In the mythology of the Dogon people, there are detailed descriptions of star systems invisible to the naked eye, such as Sirius B, a fact that mainstream science only confirmed in the 20th century. The Dogon claimed this knowledge was passed down from Nomo beings from Sirius, who were not just teachers but rememberers, those tasked with reminding humanity of a forgotten origin. These beings spoke of the ones who fell, a phrase eerily reminiscent of a fallen ancient human race. Alien abduction accounts also introduce strange consistency. Some abductees report seeing not only classic gray aliens, but also tall humanoid figures described as wise, emotionless, and ancient. Interestingly, these beings are often perceived as more human than human, a phrase repeated in reports across different cultures and decades. Could these be remnants of an earlier version of ourselves, either preserved by advanced technology or remembered in alien memory as the firstborn of this region of the galaxy? Even in modern UFO lore, some whistleblowers claim certain alien races refer to Earth humans as the children of the original architects, or the forgotten ones. These phrases may sound poetic, but when matched with ancient mythology, they begin to paint a consistent picture, one where humanity is not merely evolving upward from primitive roots, but instead recovering from a fall, a loss of memory, forgotten greatness. Could alien myths be more than just stories about beings from the stars? Could they be subtle remnants, echoes of a deeper, more ancient truth? That humans were once galactic elders long before our own recorded history began? In the next chapter, we'll explore the archaeological anomalies that support this idea and ask why mainstream science continues to ignore evidence that doesn't fit the established timeline. If alien myths hint at a forgotten chapter in human history, then the Earth itself may be holding the evidence, hidden in plain sight. In this part, we turn our attention to forbidden archaeology, a controversial field that explores archaeological discoveries which don't fit into mainstream historical timelines. These out-of-place artifacts, ooparts, ancient ruins, and inexplicably, advanced technology suggest that human civilization may be far older and more advanced than we've been taught. Mainstream archaeology tells us that complex human societies began around 5,000 to 6,000 years ago with Sumer, Egypt, and the Indus Valley civilizations. But scattered across the globe are discoveries that seem to defy this narrative entirely. One of the most famous examples is Göbekli Tepe, located in modern-day Turkey. Dated to over 11,000 years ago, well before the invention of writing, metal tools, or agriculture, it features massive stone pillars arranged in complex geometric patterns. Carved with strange otherworldly symbols, Göbekli Tepe shouldn't exist. According to conventional history, humans were still hunter-gatherers at the time. Yet someone had the knowledge, the manpower, and the vision to build this megalithic structure. Then, for reasons unknown, buried it deliberately. Even older anomalies exist. In South Africa, geologists have uncovered small, perfectly spherical metallic objects embedded in 2.8 billion-year-old rock. These Klerksdorp spheres, while not proven to be artificial, are smooth and symmetrical in a way that raises questions about natural formation. Similarly, in places like India and Peru, there are massive precision-cut stones that modern tools would struggle to replicate. How could ancient people, supposedly primitive, achieve such architectural feats? In Central and South America, legends speak of advanced civilizations lost to cataclysm, like Atlantis and Mu. Though often dismissed as myth, these stories contain consistent themes. Great cities powered by crystal or energy technologies, beings with knowledge of astronomy and genetics and sudden destruction, often linked to floods or cosmic events. When Plato wrote of Atlantis, he was quoting Egyptian priests who claimed that the Greeks only remember one flood, but there were many. This matches global flood myths from dozens of unrelated cultures, all referencing a great deluge that wiped out a previous civilization. So why is this information suppressed? The term forbidden archaeology itself reflects the resistance faced by researchers who challenge academic orthodoxy. Careers have been destroyed, research silenced, and artifacts locked away in museum basements because they don't fit the timeline. There is a strong institutional bias toward preserving the current model of gradual human development, starting from caves and sticks, slowly evolving into cities and machines. But if humanity had risen to greatness once before, only to fall, due to war, natural disaster, or cosmic interference, then our history becomes cyclical, not linear. It raises a powerful and unsettling question. Are we the first, or are we the survivors of a previous cycle? Some theorists argue that what we call alien technology may actually be remnants of our own past, evidence of lost human civilizations that reached the stars long ago. Perhaps these ancient humans are remembered by alien species not as visitors, but as founders. In Part 3, we'll go deeper, not into stone, but into flesh. The next clue may lie in our own DNA. Could our genes contain the memory of a forgotten past, or signs of something that was altered long ago? If our ancestors were part of a forgotten advanced civilization, or even galactic travelers, then perhaps the greatest evidence isn't buried under the ground, but inside our bodies. In this part, we turn to the science of genetics, where strange anomalies and unanswered questions hint that humanity may have a far more mysterious origin than we've been led to believe. Could our DNA carry a hidden legacy? Are there echoes in our genetic code of tampering, memory, or design? The human genome is vast, containing over 3 billion base pairs. But what's truly strange is that only about 1–2% of our DNA actually codes for proteins. The rest has been called junk DNA. Scientists now know that some of this non-coding DNA has regulatory functions, but a large portion remains a mystery. Why would evolution produce so much seemingly unused code? Some theorists suggest this isn't junk at all, but remnants of an earlier, more advanced genetic blueprint, one we no longer fully understand. Even more curious is the sudden leap in human intelligence around 50,000 years ago, an event often referred to as the Great Leap Forward. In a relatively short evolutionary window, humans developed complex language, art, tools, and symbolic thought. No other species has experienced such a dramatic cognitive explosion. What triggered this shift? Some scientists suggest it was purely evolutionary. Others aren't so sure. Ancient astronaut theorists propose a provocative idea that early humans were genetically modified by an advanced race, perhaps the very beings remembered in ancient alien myths. According to Sumerian tablets, the Anunnaki created humans by mixing their own essence with that of Earth's primitive hominids. This story aligns strangely well with modern genetic science, which reveals that humans share over 98% of our DNA with chimpanzees, but that final 1–2% makes a profound difference. What if that small gap was no accident? In 2003, the Human Eye Genome Project successfully mapped the entire human genome. The head of the project, Dr. Francis Crick, who won the Nobel Prize for discovering the structure of DNA, once suggested that life on Earth may have been seeded by an advanced extraterrestrial civilization through a process called directed panspermia. While his views were controversial, they highlight a growing scientific openness to ideas once dismissed as science fiction. Beyond biology, there's also a more esoteric angle. Many spiritual traditions and modern psychonauts report that deep meditation, altered states, and near-death experiences seem to unlock ancient knowledge or contact with higher beings. Could it be that some part of our genetic memory contains more than just instincts? Perhaps even a record of who we once were? There's also the question of star children, a term used by some in the UFO community to describe people who claim an inner knowing, advanced intuition, or strange memories not tied to this lifetime. Could these individuals be tapping into a forgotten genetic heritage? Is there an activation mechanism within our DNA awaiting a cosmic trigger? Ultimately, the story encoded in our genes raises more questions than it answers. But one thing is clear: our DNA is not just a code for building bodies. It may be a library of lost history, possibly shaped by forces far beyond Earth. In Part 4, we leave the body and reach into the stars. If we are remembered by alien civilizations as something ancient, what exactly do they remember? And why are they only whispering it now? What if the truth about humanity's forgotten past isn't hidden on Earth, but remembered elsewhere? In this part, we explore galactic memory, the idea that advanced alien civilizations may carry records, stories, or even reverence for an ancient human race that existed long before the dawn of our written history. Could it be that we are not simply discovering the cosmos, but being watched, even recognized, by those who remember what we've forgotten? The concept of galactic memory is rooted in accounts from UFO contactees, whistleblowers, and abductees, many of whom report something strange: alien beings who not only study humans but seem to recognize us. In some testimonies, abductees describe being shown visions of ancient human civilizations, vast cities not found in any known history, or star maps detailing planetary systems where humans supposedly once lived. These experiences often leave people with a haunting impression that humans were once part of a galactic civilization, perhaps even among its founders. According to well-known contactees like Alex Collier and Elena Danaan, various alien races refer to Earth humans using terms like the Ancient Ones, the Lost Tribes, or the Original Architects. While mainstream science dismisses these claims, they persist across a wide range of cultures, languages, and belief systems. Could they be describing a collective alien memory, a cosmic oral history of a human race that was once far more advanced? Some ex-military and intelligence whistleblowers, such as those associated with alleged secret space programs, claim that Earth humans were once a dominant species within a now fractured interstellar alliance. These sources suggest that our planet became isolated after a catastrophic war or cosmic disaster. Earth, in this view, became a kind of galactic quarantine zone, its survivors reduced to primitive conditions, their memory wiped or lost, their legacy buried beneath millennia of debris. These claims may sound like science fiction, but they echo ancient myths as well. Hindu cosmology describes cycles of creation and destruction called yugas, in which humanity rises to godlike power only to fall again. Hopi prophecy speaks of multiple worlds before this one, and of a time when humanity fell from the stars. In both spiritual and extraterrestrial lore, we find a recurring pattern: a golden age of human advancement, followed by a fall and a long amnesia. If this is true, then alien civilizations, some of which may have coexisted or even evolved alongside ancient humans, would logically remember us. But why don't they tell us outright? Some contact reports suggest that galactic law prohibits interference with evolving species. Others imply that humanity must first awaken to its true nature through its own choices, or else repeat the same destructive cycle. In more recent years, scientific discoveries in astronomy have identified Earth-like exoplanets that could theoretically support life, some of which lie within the mythic star systems mentioned in ancient texts or alien lore, such as Sirius, Pleiades, and Orion. Is this coincidence or breadcrumbs left for us to follow? Galactic memory, if real, suggests that we are not just newcomers to a populated galaxy, we are returning to it. Not as primitive life forms, but as heirs to a forgotten lineage. In Part 5, we delve into the reason this history may have been erased. Was there a war so great that it fractured not just worlds, but memory itself? A war humanity may have caused, or lost. If humanity was once part of an ancient galactic civilization, remembered by alien races and hinted at in myths, then what happened? Why did we fall? Why don't we remember? The answer may lie in a devastating event rarely discussed in mainstream history. A hidden war, one that shattered worlds, erased knowledge, and nearly wiped humanity from the stars. According to many ancient texts and modern whistleblower accounts, humanity's fall wasn't just natural decline or disaster. It was engineered, the result of a cataclysmic conflict, possibly interstellar in scale, and deeply connected to the legends of ancient gods, fallen angels, and destroyed civilizations. Let's begin with the myths. Nearly every ancient culture has a story of a great war among the gods. In Hindu texts, the Mahabharata describes celestial battles involving flying machines, vimanas, energy weapons, and entire cities laid to waste. Greek mythology tells of the Titanomachy, a war between the Olympians and their predecessors, the Titans, beings of immense power. The Sumerians wrote of gods, the Anunnaki, who fought among themselves, destroying cities and altering human destiny in the process. What if these were not metaphors but distorted memories of real events? Modern theorists suggest these gods may have been ancient humans or allied extraterrestrials who turned on each other in a brutal conflict, perhaps over control of Earth, technology, or even genetic experimentation. Some propose that factions within ancient humanity chose different evolutionary paths, some merging with machines, others with biological manipulation, and still others rejecting technological progress entirely. This ideological divide may have ignited a war that consumed entire worlds. Support for this theory comes from more than myth. Geological and archaeological evidence shows signs of sudden global destruction. Melted stone ruins like those in Mohenjo-Daro, Pakistan, vitrified forts in Scotland, and radioactive soil in parts of India raise serious questions. Could these be the scars of ancient energy weapons or planetary bombardment? Then there are the global flood myths, from the Bible to the Epic of Gilgamesh to Native American lore. Many describe the world being cleansed after a great conflict, often by water. Scholars often dismiss these as fiction, but taken together they form a worldwide narrative, a disaster so great that it buried not just cities, but an entire era of history. Some researchers believe this reset was no accident. After the war, knowledge was suppressed. Survivors scattered, often taking refuge underground or in remote regions. A long period of darkness followed, the beginning of what we now call prehistory. If this war occurred, why don't we remember it? Perhaps because memory itself was wiped or encoded. Some believe advanced technologies were used to erase collective knowledge, genetically or even through manipulation of consciousness. Others suggest humanity was placed into quarantine. By surviving galactic races watched silently until we were ready to remember. Governments may know more than they admit. Whistleblowers from secret space programs allege the recovery of ancient advanced technologies, and even contact with beings who warned of repeating the same mistakes. If true, it would mean this isn't just ancient history, it's a cycle we're at risk of repeating. In Part 6, we explore the final question. If we are the remnants of something ancient, something powerful, then what happens if we remember? Are we meant to rise again, or are we still under cosmic watch? If humanity is the survivor of an ancient galactic legacy, scarred by war, stripped of memory, and reduced to myth, then a crucial question remains. What happens if we remember? This final part explores the idea that humanity may be standing on the edge of a great awakening, a moment not just of scientific advancement, but of self-realization, an awakening not into something new, but something forgotten. Throughout human history, certain individuals have claimed to experience a sudden sense of cosmic identity, visions, dreams, or insights that suggest we are not alone, nor are we what we seem. Whether through deep meditation, near-death experiences, psychedelic journeys, or UFO encounters, these people often return with the same message: you are more than you believe. You are ancient. Could these be early symptoms of a collective memory beginning to reactivate? Modern technology is accelerating our exposure to the cosmos. We're mapping distant stars, detecting Earth-like planets, decoding DNA, and even exploring artificial intelligence, technology that mirrors the godlike power once attributed to ancient beings. But this rapid growth raises the question, why now? Could it be that this surge in knowledge is part of a natural cycle, one that always begins when a civilization is about to remember its true origin? Across cultures, prophecies speak of a time of great awakening. The Mayans spoke of a return of cosmic memory. Hopi elders warned of a fifth world emerging, when humanity would finally learn from its past mistakes. In Hindu belief, the end of the Kali Yuga, our current dark age, would give way to a rebirth of higher consciousness. These ancient prophecies align with what some theorists call a galactic clock, cycles of time that govern when civilizations rise, fall, and remember. But awakening isn't automatic. It's a test. Some suggest the reason alien contact remains limited is that humanity is still proving whether it is ready, not technologically, but spiritually and ethically. If we truly are the remnants of a once great civilization, then we may still carry the very flaws that led to our fall: pride, division, the hunger for power. Until we evolve past those, we may not be trusted to rejoin the galactic community. There is also a more mystical possibility, that the awakening is internal, a shift in consciousness. Some believe our DNA contains not just physical instructions, but encoded memories waiting to be activated. This theory is echoed in ancient symbols like the Kundalini serpent, the Tree of Life, and the Eye of Horus, all metaphors for inner illumination and hidden power. Whistleblower testimonies and channeled messages often speak of a coming event, not a war, but a remembering, a mass awakening triggered by celestial alignment, solar activity, or even direct alien intervention. If true, this wouldn't just change our understanding of history, it would rewrite what it means to be human. So, what are they hiding? Maybe they're not hiding anything. Maybe we are hiding from ourselves, from a truth too big, too ancient, too terrifying to face, yet too magnificent to ignore. Because if we are the descendants of an ancient human race that once spanned the stars, then our future may not lie in escaping Earth, but in reclaiming our place among the stars. The awakening has already begun. The only question is, will we remember who we were before it's too late to become who we're meant to be?